In the last session, we just created implementation user, and we have seen how to assign the roles. Because of the roles, how this user will be able to have access to the FSM related page. As we discussed, FSM and the security console, these points we verified. In the last session, we discussed about functional setup manager, and as a part of functional setup manager, what tasks we need to perform we discussed, and we enabled offerings and options, and we created implementation project. Also, we included offerings and options into that, and system created task list. Now we'll quickly walk through how to update the status, how we can assign the resource to specific offering or option or task list level. After completing that, again we will go through this user related, the password policy and other details. Yep. So let's navigate to the project which we created in the last session. How to go to implementation project, click on the username, and you could see this panel. Here we can see setup and maintenance. This is only because of application implementation consultant role, which we assigned to this max user. In the last session, we created max user and we assigned application implementation consultant role. That role is allowing this max user to go to setup and maintenance page, nothing but FSM, functional setup manager. Click on setup and maintenance task. To go to projects, click on task list or call it as task pan. Click on this. Click on manage implementation projects. So here there is a big list. Many projects are there. But remember, when you do the implementation, you never create these many projects. If you are implementing for the client who is operating the business in the US, one implementation project is enough. Another important point is Oracle is not going to entertain multiple clients to use the single instance. Oracle is providing one instance for only one client, one company, one organization, or say one customer. So two companies, two organizations, or two clients should not use the same instance. Oracle is not allowing. One client will take the subscription for Fusion applications. They have to use this instance only for their business, not for any other organizations. So this is a rule. One instance can support multiple clients. It is possible. Say for example, Airtel and Jio. These are the two different entities. So these two entities can take this instance and they can use. It is possible. So we can set up Airtel business and we can set up Jio business in the same instance and they can use it without any challenges, with a great data security. But Oracle is not going to allow. If Airtel is going to take the subscription from Oracle, they will give one instance. For Jio, they will give different instance. So within one instance, we can do the implementation for multiple clients, but Oracle is not allowing only one instance for one client. This is what we have to understand. But in practice point of view, if you see here, everybody is creating the setups with the different names. Right? These are the different client names they are creating. So for practice purpose, no restriction. You can go ahead and you can do the practice. But when it comes to reality, always remember one instance, okay, can be used by only one client. Oracle is not allowing more than that. This is a note. Then the project what we created, you can see here. If you don't, here there may be big list. You want to fetch your project, what you created, which is assigned to this current user. So what you can do is you don't need to look into this big list. Click on overview. If you click on overview, whatever the project is assigned to current user, system will display that project. You click on overview tab, what it will do, it will check. So for the current user, which project is assigned, that project you can see here. The max implementation project, we assign to this current user called as Max. Now open this project. Just click on project name. The project will be open. In the last session, we have seen how to create the project, how to assign or you can say how to include offerings and options into this project. And we verified system created task list. This is a task list. You could see the task list application wise. Apart from application also, there are few additional task lists which are really required when you work on the financials applications. This is what we discussed in the last session. And also we updated the status for our implementation project. We updated status as in progress. It means we started working on this project. Now we'll see who is going to work for which task, which activity. So you can just expand financials, or else entire financials you can assign to one resource, one team member or one consultant. If you don't want to assign one entire financials to one resource, each application you can assign to one resource. I'm selecting payables. Define invoicing and payment configuration means payables application. Okay, define invoicing and payment configuration means payables application. Now you can select the define invoicing and payment configuration task list. You can see if you place the cursor on the folder option, you could see this is a task list. Task list can refer specific application, or else within the application, maybe list of setups. It could be anything. It can refer entire application, or it can refer specific part of application related tasks. So select it. So if you want to assign this to one of the consultant, to assign to consultant, click on assign tasks. Click on assign tasks. To whom you want to assign, click on add. So since this is a practice instance, there are many users already created. You can assign to any one of the user for your practice purpose. Search with letter A. There are many. Just you can select any one of the username for our understanding purpose. Later we are going to create many users. Click on apply, click on done. Okay, just click on done. Now system will assign this payables to this user to perform the setups. And you can set up due date for this user or this consultant, you can say. This consultant should complete payable setups, say by tomorrow. And say save and close. That's all. This is how you can assign. Now if you expand payables, just expand payables and expand anything. You can see. So these all setups or all these tasks need to be completed by this consultant only. This is how we are updating. Just we are updating the information. Not only that, anything which falls under payables, you expand the task list. If any task is available under the task list, you can find that consultant name only. It's assigned to this consultant. So this is how you can assign specific option. Payables means one of the option, specific options to consultant. Or else you want to assign entire financials to one consultant. Yes, you can do it. Select entire financials, click on assign task, click on edit. You can find any other user or say consultant and you can assign. Yes, you can pick any one below, or else you can search and select and you can assign. So we are assigning the entire financials to this consultant, and we are going to give the deadline, the due date as a so and so. Just click on this same record, the due date field will be open. Now you can set up, all the setups need to be completed by 14th of this month. And say save and close. You can assign to multiple users also. Again, you can click on this and you can assign the financials to multiple consultants. So this is how you can do the assignments. We have seen how to set up the assignment at offering level as well as option level. Now, if you go and open any one of the option, you see those two users. Means only for payables, already we assigned to one consultant. On top of it, the entire financials we assigned to one more consultant. Now you see two consultants. This is one consultant. Here you can see one more. Two. So this is how you can assign. Say, for example, the consultant who is working for payables, the consultant started working on the payables. The consultant can update the status. Here is the status icon. You can click on the status icon, or else you can click on edit status. First, you have to select this record. If you want to click on edit, if you want to edit directly, you can click on here without selecting the record also. Let's select, click on edit status. So the consultant already started working on the payable setups. I'm updating the status as in progress. Setups are in progress. So this is how the status can be updated. Wait. Now expand this payables. And you can see within the payables, for all the tasks and the task lists, you can see the status as in progress. For everything, system updated status as in progress. So this is all about understanding about how we can update the status, how we can do the assignments. And say if payables consultant completed all the payable setups. Now you can click on the same status and you can set the status as completed. Now for entire payable, system will update the status as completed. Here you don't think if you set as a completed, system won't allow you to do the setups. No, just we are passing the message or we are setting the status. But system is not going to stop you if you want to do any setups, even after setting the status as completed. Okay, now you can just go to payables related setups and you can do any setups. And whenever you do any setups, system cannot understand whether you completed setup or not. You have to set the status through manual process so that system will use that status for project progress purpose. Here progress means setup related progress, not entire implementation related progress. So this is how you can set up. And maybe the consultant started working on the receivables. You can update the status as started. Select receivables and select status as a in progress. So this is how you can update the status for any option or offering, or it could be task list or a task also. For a specific task also, you can set the status. Expand receivables. So for entire receivables level, we set status as a in progress. We are working. But for few setups, I want to set the status as a completed. Say within the receivables, I completed few setups. Take any one of the setup. I'm choosing this task and click on status. I can set in receivables, this setup I completed. And this setup also I completed, and click on status, set status. Save and close. So this is how we can update the status and you can do the assignments to the users. So what is the advantage? If you do this updates, like what is completed, what is in progress, and who is going to work for this project, if you update this status or progress, what is the benefit? Let's see that. Just click on done. Now see, the same is updated against our project. This is our implementation project. System updated based on the statuses what we updated. It is showing 22% setups are completed because we updated as a payables completed. Reality not, but just to understand, we updated. So 234 tasks are completed, 22% of tasks in the entire project. And 26% of setups are in progress. The count of tasks are 271. And 52% setups not yet started. The count of setups are 552. So this is how you can see the progress of the project, and here you can see the due date base. Place the cursor. Due date is this week. 116 tasks. Okay, need to be completed in this week, but already completed. It is showing completed 116. And here, in coming 3 weeks, in 3 weeks, so these many setups need to be completed, but how many not started? 552. And in progress 271, already completed 118. This is how you can track the progress, and go to next tab called as assignment status by task list. Click on this. So it will just give more, so breakup. Okay, so separate, like within the entire project. So how many setups are related to common setups? These are all nothing but different folder options, different task list inside of the project, different folder options it is showing. So for this is all about payables. Already we set the status as completed. So this is all about expenses. This is all about fixed assets. What is the status of each and every option or set of tasks? So everything you can see. If you click on this, it will display what task we have inside of it. So again, subfolders. Again, if you click on this, what exact activities we have inside. Again, if you click on it, it will display. So what task it's all about. Okay. So this is a path it is showing in the from the project. This is one of the tasks. Define common options for payables and procurement. So one of the tasks. So in the system, a task, or it could be relevant tasks. So this is how you can see. If you want to see the resource who are working for this project, this is how you can select. Okay. So this is how you can select. These are the resource this week. So this is how it is planned. This week, these setups need to be completed, but already completed. Next 3 weeks. Okay, this is how it is planned. Within this 3 weeks, these many setups need to be completed. How many are completed? How many are in progress? How many are not started? You can see. And here, so in 3 weeks, these setups need to be completed. These are assigned to this user. So this complete information you will be able to track if you update the status. Okay, if you want to update, you can update. Otherwise, directly you can start working on the instance to perform the setups. Reality, every consultant will be aware where they are responsible. It is not mandatory you have to update the status in the project. If you want to update it. It's a great information. Even if you don't update, say for finance, 2 consultants are working. The modules what we have, the applications what we have, those can be distributed across these 2 consultants. Maybe one consultant should work on GL, AP, AR. Another consultant should work on cash management, fixed assets, and fusion tax and fusion expense. That's it. So that's how that responsibilities can be allocated, which modules need to be implemented by which consultant. So it is not that much important you have to update in the system. If you update, you will have a great information how the project is progressing. Here, project is progressing means how setups are progressing in the system. That's all. So this is what we have to understand about this implementation project creation. Okay, once you log into the instance, you can just click on this overview. It will display the project. We'll be landing in this page. You can understand what's going on. Everything is on track, or there is a delay in the doing the setups, which need to be completed in the last week, not yet completed or overdue. Everything you can find out, okay, related to setup process. So this is what we have to understand related to implementation project. Any questions on this, please? And let me add few more points here. Open this project. So we added financials. At any point of time, you can add additional offerings or options into this project. You click on add. I want to add procurement offering. Here search criteria selected as a procurement offering. Now I want to search for offering called as procurement. So anytime you can add additional offerings or options to project. So I selected procurement and you click on apply. So within the procurement, there are different options. Already we have seen. We have options like purchasing application is part of procurement, and procurement contracts are part of procurement. Supplier portal, or you can call as iSupplier, is part of procurement, and self-service procurement, you may call it as iProcurement, also is part of this procurement. So those all you can add to this project. The background you can notice it is added. Now click on done. So you may set, okay, the finance setups are completed, entire financials completed, and procurement setups may be in the progress. So that's how you can update when you have multiple offerings. Say here, procurement team started working on procurement related setups, setting the status as in progress. This is how you can add. Not only entire offering, you can just add specific option also. Take example, define invoicing and payment configuration is one of the option, one of the application that you can add to the project standalone. Okay. If you want to do that, don't select anything here. Okay. If you select payables, financials, whatever we are going to add, it will go inside. Don't select here. You can click on this section. Ensure that nothing is selected. Now click on add. Now we are not going to add entire offering. We want to add specific option that is there already in the financials, but just to understand, I am going to add for you. So go to search, select task list. Task list means it could be list of setups or it could be entire option. Here search for the option called as payables. How the name is available within this, the list of task list, the name is available as define invoicing into payment configuration. This is the one. Define invoicing under payment configuration. This is nothing but payables. I want to add payables into our implementation project. Think payables is not part of our financials as of now. We didn't select, you take in that way. Then you can add it. Select and say apply. It's added. You can see here. And click on that. Say within the financials, you don't have this, then what you can do is you can select it and add it. It will go inside of the financials. If you want to add separately, don't select anything here. Deselect the selection and add it. It will be listed here. In fact, you can add single task also. Click on add, select tasks. Specific task you can add. Say for example, manage payment terms. This task I want to add to my project. Anyone. Just for a testing purpose. It could be payment terms or methods, anything you can choose. Don't try to understand what is the meaning of the task. We will see that later. Here just we are trying to understand, irrespective of the purpose of the task, we want to add one task. So this is how you can find the task and add it. You could see in the background, the task also added. So anything is part of this finance or procurement or any other application, you can include into your project. Okay, don't think always it should be part of that folder only. It could be separated. You may add specific task also, which you require to perform the setups in the system environment. So this is how you can add any offering or option or task list or particular task to the project. Say for example, by using the financials, you completed all the setups. After completing all the setups, you deleted these financials. Okay, deleted. You no need to worry about it. You are deleting financial offering from your project. By using that financials offering, what are the setups you created? Those will go and store in the database. Those will be safe all the time. This project is helping you to navigate to those pages and to do the setups. If you delete the project, you may delete entire project, no worries. Your setups will remain same. If you want to see the same setups, again create one more project, you take the navigation and go to those pages, you see the setups what you did. Okay, the project is the framework which will give you the directions to go to specific pages so that you can perform the setups. Okay, don't think project means everything. This is just provides navigation, only it is specific to setup process. So this is what you have to understand. When you do the implementation, do we need to create implementation project or do we do the setups without implementation project? Here two options. One option is we can do the setups from implementation project. The second option is without implementation project, you can do the setups. Implementation project is not mandatory to do the setups, but why we have to create? There is a strong reason. If you create implementation project, you can move all the setups from one instance to another instance. Say for example, you did all the setups, you put a lot of efforts and you did all the setups in the test instance. Now you tested everything is working fine. The same setups you want to move to production instance. If you have a project, then it is possible. If you have a project, then it is possible. If you don't have a project, you cannot move the setups. That is the primary reason we create the project. The other reason also, if you are doing the setups from the project, our task will become very easy. If you don't have a project in place, you have to do the setups with a multiple clicks and the different streams. You have to click and you have to go to some other page process. Finally, we will be reaching that page. If you have a project, it's straight away. Just you can go to project, search for something and create it. There are no multiple steps, no multiple clicks, multiple streams within the system environment. So straightforward, you can create the setups if you have a project. And again, if you have a project, you can update the status and you can assign the resource. If you are doing the setups without project, yes, that is possible, but you cannot update the status, what you did and what you are going to do, what you not started, and you cannot assign the resource who is working for what and what is the progress. Nothing you can track, no copy of the setups to production instance from test or any instance to any other instance. And when you do the setups also, our job will become very difficult. If you have a project, easily you can do the setups. You will come to know once we start doing the setups, what is the meaning of what I'm talking now, you will come to know. So because of the project, you can copy the setups from one instance to another instance. When you do the setup through project, the setup process will become more easy. Okay. And if you have a project, you will be able to update the status and you can track the progress of the project. These are the great benefits we can get if you use the project concept within the instance. So this is what we have to understand about the project. So now we will go back to the user and we'll talk about how that user related user name generation or password policies. We will talk about it. After that, we can just proceed with what is the meaning of this each and every column within this project. Okay. So far, whatever we discussed, any questions, please?
Sir, here the project refers to setup project, right?
Project?
Refers to setup with reference to setup project, right?
Yes, only setups.
Okay.
To perform the setups, what we are creating, we are calling as a implementation project. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Questions, please.
Yes, sir. Whenever we are assigning any offering or task,
Voice is not clear. Please.
Hello, now is it audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask that, like, whenever we assign any task, offering or task list to a particular user, then how will the user know that, like, certain task is assigned to him?
There won't be any notification. There won't be any workflow where the user will be notified to their inbox. By going through this project, they can understand. Okay, they have to open the project, then only they'll come to know. Or else simply they can go to this dashboard. If you go here and click on resource status, by clicking on this, the user can understand what is in their bucket and what is in the current bucket or next week buckets. This is how they can check. That's all. There is no other kind of way of communicating to the users. So once we assign, because it's not a great thing, it is not for a quite long period. It's a very short period. I'm assigning one tables to you to perform the setups. Really, you don't take 1 day time also to complete the tables. When it comes to reality, you will have a client data. If I give payables, you can complete within 1 hour. The setups you can complete for payables within 1 hour once you learn this, how to do the payable setups. When we are working for your client, you may take 2 to 3 days time because you need client data also. It is not like your own you will go and do the setups. You need certain data from the client when you do the setups. For that reason, you may take 2 to 3 days time to complete the payables. Just for 1 day or 2 to 3 days purpose, you no need to establish the mechanism where you will be notified. You are in the project, always will be in the meetings. You'll have a review meetings and the team meetings and the plan related meetings, and everything what we do as a part of project will be part of the team. It's a collaboration, team collaboration. Always you will communicate it in the team when we have to start, what we have to start, what is the timeline. Okay, this all you will come to know. System is no need to give any reminder. System is not no need to tell you something which is unknown for you. You will come to know before system will tell you something. Okay, that is the reason such kind of information is not required. Why we are assigning? Just for tracking purpose, not to notify to the consultants what they are going to do. No, we will come to know, the same will be updated in the system, but tracking purpose, this is very important, so that you will be able to understand. If not you, somebody is going to look at this project. When you do the projects in the organization, maybe the program manager who is looking after multiple projects, the program manager wants to have a look what is the progress of the setup. Or else it may be portfolio manager wants to see the multiple projects, how happening, etc. For them, it may be information, or else within the project, it may be information for other team members. And again, updating the status and assigning the resource to project is not mandatory. Reality, this all can be managed by project manager. Project manager prepares the project plan and they'll just create the allocations within the project, who has to do what, and all the time we'll have meetings, so everything will get communicated, the messages can be exchanged. That's how you will be into the environment. So it is not important from system side, we need some reminder or notification. Okay.
Okay, sir, clear. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions, please?
Yeah, sir, will we get any physical material, sir, for this, how to follow the paths and all, sir?
No. See, nothing. Just once we start working on it, I'll be writing everything in the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Okay. Other side, you please start writing everything. That's very, very important. Your note is very important.
Step by, yeah.
Yeah. See, as of now, there is no too much of navigation, right? Only one navigation for user creation, second navigation for project creation. Only two as of now. Yeah. Make a note. Please make a note from my side also. There will be contribution from my side to make a note of each and every point going forward. Now, these are nothing. So small things. So you will just get the complete information also, but you please try to prepare it in your own style where you can understand, which is very easy for you.
Okay.
And how the sub option can be moved to offerings?
Sorry?
How the sub options can be moved to offerings?
Sub options, how you can move to offering.
Yes.
You select financials, you add it, it will go inside.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. If I select financials, if I add something, it will go inside only. If I don't select financials, if I select overall like this, nothing is selected. Now it will come next to this list.
If I want to move this manage payment terms as an example, then I want to move it to financials. How can
see these? You cannot the drag and drop option they are not giving here. No worries. You just remove this. Okay. And instead of selecting financials, you need it in the payables. Expand it. Now you select it and add it. It will go inside to this folder. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we have to do it. Any questions, please? No questions. So we'll see any questions in the end of the session also. No worries. So now we'll go back to our user. Once we're done with that, a few points related to user, again, we'll come back to our project and we'll discuss and we'll continue. So last or in the prior session, we created a user. Let's go back to our user, what we created. How to go to user? In the navigator, you have to go to tools, expand tools. Under tools, if you are able to see security console, the meaning of security console access is because of IT security manager. It means you got access to IT security manager. When you go to tools, if you are not able to see the security console task, it means you don't have access to security console. That's it. If you don't have access to security console, you don't see the security console under tool section. Now just click on security console. It will take us to the page where you can create the user. Ignore any message. No need to read and all. That's a different story. So select users. Now find out your user. Our username is Max. Hit search. So this is a user we created. Now open this user account. You can click on username or click on display name. So this user we created. So we assigned only 2 roles. Those are IT security manager and application implementation consultant. Now click on edit. How you created, you can see as it is. So we given the username, the same system copied as a last name. But as per your organization policy, you want to use user email ID as a login name.
Okay.
Okay. And you want to set some strong password criteria. Okay. Password policy, you want to make it more stronger. When we created user, we have seen at least 8 characters, 1 number. No, I want to include some special character. I want to make it more stronger where somebody cannot guess it. So those all you can set up. How here you can see at the time of user creation, system selected default, or else let me go to user creation page so that it would be easy for us to understand. I want to create user. Click on add user account. So what system is doing? System is selecting user category. So in this user category only, there will be password policy. So what we are seeing here, at least 8 characters, 1 number. And so if I provide the last name as A, it will take same as username. I'm going to provide first name as B. It is taking B also. So B.A, first name dot last name. That is a rule is available within the user category called as default. And as per this user category default, there is no rule as email ID is mandatory. Within this, there is a rule saying username need to be created based on the first name and last name. And the password policy is at least 8 characters, 1 number. This is how this user category is available. This is a seeded one Oracle is providing. You can create for your client purpose. When you do this implementation, your client can ask, no, I need a different password policy. I'll tell you, please do it. Or else my requirement is whenever I create the user, system should ask email ID as a mandatory. What are the email ID we provide, that system should use as a username. So for such kind of needs, you have to set up different user category so that you will be able to serve accordingly. Let's see how to create our own user category. So the accordingly system will support to create the username and to come up with the relevant password policies. Click on cancel. And here go to user categories. So there is user category which Oracle is providing. and there is one more which somebody created as a test. Okay, somebody created as a test. Now we'll go and create one user category, and by selecting that user category, when you try to create the user, so it should reflect accordingly. Okay, this is a Oracle provided. That is the reason there is no delete option. If you or me are going to create, delete option would be available. So click on create, click on edit, or else before we proceed, let me show you how this was created already. So the seeded one which is there, just let's go through it. Click on default. You can see, click on edit also. They're given the user category name as default. So it's a seeded one. You find in every instance. Oracle is providing in every instance, fresh instance or any instance. So they given username generation rule, first name and last name. They given the rule, accordingly it is generating. So password for policy. If you go to password policy, what is a policy? They selected simple, at least 8 characters, one number. And the password will expire and system has to give the notification how many days. Okay, how many days before it has to give? 80 days before it has to give the notification. It expires in 90 days. Every 90 days password will expire. You can change it. Okay, password should expire every 6 months or every 1 month or 2 months you can set. And again, how many days before it has to give the warning? The given warning itself 80 days. Just we may set 5 days, 2 days, 3 days. And once you will get a notification to reset the password, the token should expire in how many hours, and all that also you can set. And this is all you can set as well as a part of category level. Okay, so let's create new so that you can understand. Click on create, say edit. You can give the name as Amex. Okay, category. And the rule I am going to select as email. So these are the different rules. First name dot last name, email. From the first name, first letter, then last name, it has to choose, or person or party number, some number. Maybe you may provide employee ID. So that's how you can choose. I'm going to choose email. So by using this, if you are going to create the user, system will look for email as a mandatory, the same it will as a username. This user category name should be in the uppercase. Okay, it should be in the uppercase. If you are continuing with the name, you put some underscore to that. Okay, keep it as a just a max, or say max. I think we are using user called as max. Take it as max. And click on save and close. Just click on save and close. So it will create the category. Now go to password policy and click on edit. So days before password expiry, 90 days, and days before password expiry warning. System has to give the warning to the user before 5 days. Now how many hours the link, system generated link, can be expired to reset the password and all. And password complexity simple, it's by default. This is how it follows. The minimum characters 8. The minimum letter in uppercase, lowercase, nothing is specified, and minimum digits 1, no special characters. If you select complex, see how it is added one more, uppercase is mandatory. Very complex, special character also required. Apart from this, you can create your own policy. So minimum 8 characters, minimum letters in uppercase. I may set 2 uppercases are required. The lower case is also mandatory. Minimum 2 lowercase letters are required. 2 digits should be there. And 2 special characters are required. Very, very strong, and it's very difficult. You may set like this. Okay, you may set like this and say save and close. Now click on done. This is how you can create your own category And when you create user, you can use it. Because of default, his email ID is not mandatory. Now, if I switch to Max, email ID is mandatory. You may enter anything. It is not going to take as username. What you enter as a email ID, it will take as a username. You enter email ID, it will take as a username. See, the same it is copied because we given the rule like that. Within this user category, we given rule, the username is going to be email ID. And when you look at the password policy, you can see the same what we said. It's a very like custom. So minimum 8 characters, 2 uppercase letters, 2 lowercase letters, 2 numbers, 2 special characters. Very, very strong. So this is how you can set the user categories, how your client is required. Your client will ask how they want, how strong password, or how the expiry time for that user passwords, and what is the rule to create the user names. They will ask you. So accordingly, you can set up. So this is all about user related part. Okay. So today I'm just keeping this call for a very short. Okay. From Monday, we will run the session with the full length, 1 hour, 30 minutes for sure. We'll run the session. From Monday, we'll start the session sharp 8 o'clock. We'll go up to 9:30 AM IST. So we'll follow the fixed schedules from Monday. Today I'm going to stop here. The rest we'll discuss on Monday. Who got access to instance, or else who is going to get instance access after this class? Please try to complete from your end so that upcoming classes will become very easy. You start with the system, you start with the hands-on. So when you are trying to understand something, when you try to do something in the system, so it would be cakewalk for you. It would be very, very easy. By attending the session, if you think, yes, you are fetching, that is not enough. When you go to system all of the sudden, it will become little difficult. So whatever I complete today, you try to complete from your end today itself. And what are the content I am discussing with you, please make a note, read till you remember. That's very important. So tomorrow, if somebody is going to ask you, what do you mean by FSM? You should be able to explain all this. When you talk about FSM, it is Functional Setup Manager. FSM stands for Functional Setup Manager. As per FSM, so we have a offerings and options. Offerings, nothing but the product families. Options are applications. So within the Functional Setup Manager, you can find out the offerings and you have to enable the offerings and options. After enabling the offerings and options, you have to create implementation project. During the implementation project, you have to include the offerings and options into project. System creates the task list. You can update the status for the setups what we are doing, and you can do the task assignments also, entire offering or option or task list level. These all you should be able to explain. You are able to understand means it's not a great news. You should be able to present. What you can do is you can start giving the presentation. If you are at home, find somebody, explain to them. It may be new for them, for your benefit. Give presentation, take feedback. This is very, very important because it's a functional course. It's not a technical. If it is a technical, if you are dumb to speak, no worries. Okay. You are very dumb to speak, no worries. You have to write programming. But it's a functional. You have to speak. We have to speak more than what we do. If you take one day, hardly you may work for 1 hour on the system and all. Rest 7-8 hours you have to speak if required. So that kind of cases we come across. So you please read and remember. Till you remember, read it. Everything make a note, read, and be ready to present. For that you have to do the practice. Explain to somebody. So explain to somebody. You may plan today one session to explain to somebody what does it mean by Oracle Fusion Financials, or else explain today what is the meaning of Oracle, what is the meaning of application. Tomorrow you can explain what is the meaning of financials, what is the meaning of cloud, what is the meaning of Fusion. If you give presentation, you will get experience. Tomorrow when you go and speak with interviewer, it will come very naturally. What you speak, it comes very naturally since you got experience by speaking about the same content. When you speak when you explain something to somebody, please explain only in English. That's what we need. Okay, not because we don't know English, to do the practice. When you explain to somebody in Telugu or in other Hindi or some other mother tongue, when you speak for first time in English, there is no experience for you with those words. The first time you are speaking in English, the sentence construction or phrases, anything. So that is the reason anything you talk about subject with anyone, interact in English, that will become your experience. Really, that will become your experience. You will build the confidence. When you speak next time, it will flow automatically. You will deliver the statements and the content with a great confidence. So that is really required. If you are sitting and thinking and doing and understanding, nothing will work. Whatever you attend, please make a note. It could be system related or content what we are discussing theoretically. Read till you remember. Read till you remember. You may read 2 times, 3 times or 10 times. That is up to you. Till you remember, you have to read. And you should be able to present. It is not you should be able to, you give presentation also. Give presentation 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Take feedback from them. Take negative feedback where you are lacking and start working on it. This is how you have to start exercising. Then you will have a better results. You will build great confidence. You can build great content for presentation. And when you speak with your interviewer, they will trust you what you are saying. Otherwise, will be dying, will be struggling to speak out. You may learn many things. You may do great practice. You should be able to speak out properly. For that, you have to start giving the presentation. We'll have one separate session. I'll take separate session after few classes, what strategy you have to adapt to prepare this course and how you have to get ready with this course. What are the key areas we have, what are the key points we have to notice? This all I'll explain. I'll take separate class, what strategy you have to adapt to prepare this course, how you have to prepare this course, what to do, what not to do. I'll explain in one class, maybe after 5-6 classes. Okay, after 5-6 classes, by the time you will get some good content. So whatever I'm going to give the directions, if you follow, you will have a better results. Otherwise, you have a great qualification. By this time, you have a great experience. You have a wonderful communication skills. Nothing is going to help you. Those may help you somewhere, but not how we require. What is required, what you have to do, that will help you. Okay, that we will discuss more detailed level. I'll take one session on that. So you should follow. As of now, whatever the inputs are given, try to implement it. You will have a better results. Try to spend time as much as you can spend. Okay. So whatever the class you completed, you should be able to talk about it. It is not you are able to understand. That's not a great news at all. Yep. So we're done for today as per our schedules. So we are going to run the classes Monday to Friday. Okay. So the next session would be on Monday. Okay. Meantime, try to complete the practice from your end, and theoretically you go through and get ready with each and everything. So if you are going to have any questions, please stay back. We will discuss. Thank you all. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend.